Okay, all right. Are we ready here? So last week, we confronted each of the candidates, and we really have very much tried to be fair here in a way that we go out of our way to try to find something out of each candidate that we could really question. For Wells, it was that debacle with the Binghamton signs, which still exists down there. He admitted to it.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, that's for Phillips. For Wells, it was the check to the Cuomo campaign, or Cuomo, from his business. He admitted to it. We're still waiting on a presentation, the check. We want to see the check and see that his name is not on there.
But he has admitted that check exists.
The check exists. He admitted it. Assemblywoman Tenney, we questioned her on the June 18th issue, where she kept saying, how dare you question me when I was on June 18th, I wasn't campaigning. I missed those votes because my mother was dying and I was taking care of her. And she really doubled down on that. And during the debate on the air, she and Wells went back and forth. So that was the one element we went and looked. It was very easy for us. It was one of our stations in the Binghamton area that she was on that day on June 18th. And later in the day, she did a rally down there, a political rally. So that had her almost all day being down in Binghamton, never in Albany at all, like she said that she was. And she may very well have been taking care of her mother at night, but during the day she was campaigning. So she flat out denied that, so that wasn't true. So we brought her on, and she said, well, it was along those lines. I never said it was exactly the 18th. And then we said, well, really, you did. And we played the audio for her. While we played the audio for her, and then we're going to ask her for a comment, she hung up on us last week. Now, it's being interpreted a little differently, as she's been asked about this along the campaign trail, and she's basically alluding that we hung up on her. You be the judge. Listen to this audio here, and you'll hear at the end when we go back to her, she's gone. I did say, Andrew, did I hit the wrong button? That was just a nervous reaction on my part. I didn't know what to do, to be honest with you. But we never hit any button. She was locked in on my keyboard. She hung up on us. I don't know how you can look at it any other way. She hung up on us. Here's the audio. You be the judge.
Main reason that I missed votes was because of my mother. And if you look, I'd get to Albany on June 18th, but I was with her on the evening of June 18th. And if you look at June 19th, which is really the last day of session, you will see that I voted and all my committee meetings and put my votes in, as many as I could, before I left. I think my last vote was at 1:16 in the afternoon on June 18th. June 19th.
Okay.
I went back home, and I went and had to deal with her. Remember, the primary in 2014 was on June 24th, just 5 days later. So I was sitting with my mother in her house
I want to play
oppressive ads. Yeah. Did I go to some campaign events? Absolutely.
Okay.
Hey, look, the worst record in the U.S. Congress in 2014 was Richard Hanna while he was running against me in the primary in 2014.
Okay.
He missed more votes than anyone else.
Okay.
My votes missed were
now,
not
by the way, if you can stop there just for a second.
Apparently, I was in some kind of a press conference.
Hannah is contesting that and wants to come on Friday morning to talk about that he was not the worst attendanced legislator in Congress. Not even close, he says, but it's going to be interesting to see what he has to say there. So I then, coming up here, say, well, listen, I want to play the clip. Now, I did turn her volume down on the phone while I played the clip so people could hear the audio clip. They will then be recordings. After the recordings, I want to come back and get you to comment on that. Listen to this part here.
Because of that, apparently I was in some kind of a press conference on the 18th, but there
was a radio interview.
I have a 97% attendance record. It's just a fallacy and a false argument to try to say that I don't show up to vote. You know, people should know that I've introduced legislation. I spent a 12-hour day in Albany. I'll probably do a 12 to 15-hour day today and another one tomorrow. We did 700 votes, usually 800, 700. Almost two-thirds or three-quarters of the votes we take in Albany are in the month of June.
I'm not questioning. I want you to...
I mean, Bill, honestly...
Listen, I'm not...
To say we weren't in session in the morning of June 18th and probably didn't start until noon.
But
to say that I was on a radio show at 10 o'clock in the morning and I wasn't there.
Well, then there was a press conference after that. Let me play some audio for you. I want you to. There are couple different clips that Jeff has pulled. I want you to listen to to this audio. Here we go.
In June 17th, 18th, and 19th.
All right, stop it right there.
Steve Wells will continue.
The audio you're hearing right now is recorded. Now, did I not make clear enough that we're going to play some clips? I want you to listen to these, and then we'll get your comment.
Correct.
We began playing the clips, and we played 3 clips that lasted, I don't know, probably about a minute and a half, something like that. Can you go to the end so we don't have to listen to the whole thing? Because it's her just saying over and over again that on June 18th, she was campaigning in Albany and then coming back to take care of her mother. Then we near the end of the 3rd clip, and here that is.
The second one is rather long.
Okay,
hang on, here we go.
Bill, I'm the primary care provider for my mother in 2014.
This is going to be
4 days in the state assembly. And I drove back and forth to Albany at my own expense to make sure I could get in as many votes as I possibly could while my mother was a third person that can care for her.
And
there's nobody else.
Right.
I'm the only one that lives at home.
And that was
so I went back 18th. I remember back. We finished at 2 o'clock in the morning, and I voted. I was there, if you noticed. I voted in bills. See how many bills we had.
What year of that? Is that 2014?
Yes.
Okay. All right. And then the final clip is just a short one, but this is from the debate just on this past Monday. Listen to this. 45-second rebuttal, Stephen Wells.
Well, with all due respect, on that day on June 18th where she claimed she was taking care of her mom, which anybody would understand, my mom's sick with cancer. She was actually down holding press conferences in Binghamton.
Not.
2 of them.
Was not.
She was in the Bob Joseph show in the studio that day when she missed 82 votes.
No, I was not.
Okay, well.
Okay, Assemblywoman has disconnected. Okay, so there you then have what happened that day.
Correct. We did not hang up on her. You said we were going to play these clips. Can you react to them? I will say, before we got to the clips, and you heard some of this as we played back a portion of this just a few moments ago, she did say, she acknowledged she had attended campaign events, that she may have gotten her dates mixed up, that this may have been earlier in the day. But, right, this was just to say...
Here are the clips. Here you are saying that they lied, that Wells was lying about you. So, but now everybody that's coming to me saying, and they're giving me email messages or tweets or whatever you like, saying that she's implying that we hung up on her. Folks, we never hung up on her. We would never do that. And you be the judge. I mean, is she lying about the interview that we had with her about potentially lying or getting mixed up? I mean, I'm not sure how much can you trust what comes out of her mouth at this point. That's my belief. You be the judge, though. You're the one that's got to pull the lever or fill in the little bubble on Tuesday of next week. Christine.
There are 2 very important things to note here. One is that they were told, they meaning Claudia Tenney's campaign, that we were going to question her about this and the day before. And Andrew, I don't know if you said that we would be using clips to show.
I said we had looked into it and that we have evidence that shows that she was where she was on June 18th, 2014. And then to piggyback your point, we got her on the air, played the clips for her to respond. Why in the world would we hang up?
Well, the second thing is...
It would be ridiculous for us to hang up on her.
The second thing is, if in fact one were to buy the argument that we hung up, which I can see how somebody out there might go, oh, maybe they did hang up, maybe it was a mistake, maybe she got cut off. Why then was the phone not answered when we repeatedly tried to call back? And
you had text communications as well.
Correct.
With her.
Yes.
Asking her to say it on the air. Instead of texting you, call us and say it on the air. She clearly hung up on us. And again, to come out now and say that we were the ones that hung up on her is just ludicrous. I can't understand.
But if we had, we would admit that mistake.
I would.
We work very diligently to be fair. And, it really irks me when our integrity is called into question because we do make mistakes. We make mistakes every single day, sometimes dozens of times.
I don't think you do.
In a show. No, we do.
That's going a little too far, I think. We do not make dozens of mistakes a day.
Dozens an hour.
We
I
as
believe
people
is what she's saying.
Make dozens of mistakes. And when we do, as long as we know about them, we will own those mistakes.
Yes.
I mean, we're human. We can make mistakes, and we own up to them and say, we made a mistake, and this is how we're correcting it.
The problem we live in a world today where in politics now, it seems that the what is true well, whatever someone says at that moment is true. That becomes truth. And if you can get someone to believe it, then that becomes the reality. And to me, that's a shame. There's another point that we let go, and I just want to you do your own research on this. It's been said that even the votes that she missed, she voted with a paper ballot. So she missed the vote, and she made up all of those votes. Do you remember? She said that to us several times. What I'd like you to look into, and I can give you the answer if you'd like, those votes don't count. If you aren't there when the vote happens, you can't do a do-over. So when she says she made up those votes, that's only there for the purpose of finding out how she would have voted.
Right.
But if someone makes up, any legislator makes up a vote with a paper ballot after the vote is over with, that vote doesn't count. And we were led to believe that actually made up those votes and it made everything right. It doesn't. Those votes don't count. So that being a bit of a defense, it is no defense at all, to be honest with you. Sue, you heard the audio. What happened? Hi, Sue.
Hello?
You there? Yeah, you're on the radio. You heard the audio. What happened?
Yeah, she definitely hung up. Yesterday we came home from a trip, and there was a flyer in the mail, Claudia's flyer, almost accusing, Steve Wells for lying about her mother being how dare he use her dying mother, blah, blah, blah. And my husband, who's a Republican, just ripped it up and threw it in the recyclable bin. He says he's had enough of this nonsense. He can't even listen to her anymore.
All right, Sue. I'd heard that direct mail piece did go out. So, hey, I got a break. Sit tight, everybody. Coming right back at WIBX.